Hey there. Today's an interesting day. We sold our car, and this is the car that has been with me my entire life. We owned it in 1999 when I was born. And so it's a weird day, a weird feeling, because I am having to give it up today in a couple of hours. And so I just kind of wanted to sit in here and have the AC on. I'm just kind of chilling in the back seat, because this is where I started off. I started off as a passenger in the back seat. I basically just wanted to go through a couple of the stories and things that I've been through in this car with you. So for starters, on the right side of the back seat of the car, on the floor, is a place that I have spilled many a milkshake. You can see the dark spots over here on the ground and all over around here. That is from one day when I was with my sister and my mom, and we got a milkshake. It was a chocolate milkshake. I'm not sure exactly where it was from, but I spilled it all over the back seat, and that was the first time we made a huge mess in this car because of me. For some reason, the back seat of the car is the place that my sister and I played a lot. And so this used to be our cup holder. As you can see, it's broken. And I'm pretty sure in the car rides when we were in the back seat, she and I would take turns kicking it, and so eventually it just tore off. And it looks a little weird now, but honestly, worth it. Good memories. It teaches you not to eat milkshakes in the car, basically. Oh, and these? Oh, these are lifesavers. My dad's a pretty reckless driver, so all of us would hold on so tight to these every time he would drive us and hold on to each other. And it was just one of those things that we all knew to grab onto every time we knew he was driving. Moving to the passenger seat, this is the place that I think I've spent the most time in, because when I got old enough, I would always ride on the side of here with my mom or my dad when my sister wasn't around. And then when she started driving, this would be like my home. I would always sit over here next to her when we'd drive home from school. So this place has a really special meaning for me, because it's where I had all of my deep talks with my sister every time we'd go home from school, going to and from school. And this is the place that I'd snag before my parents could come when my sister was driving us anywhere. So I think I've spent the most time in the passenger seat. And I've learned a lot about the car being on this side. Especially when it came to rear view mirrors, I knew I was the annoying one that would always lean my head up front in the passenger seat so the driver couldn't see. Yes, I'm the annoying passenger. And then it was always my duty to take care of the stereo every time we were in the car, since my sister was driving. And oh my gosh, this stereo is such a faulty stereo. It would take multiple tries to get into the aux cord and figure out how to change the music. And I will never forget how to use one of these. There's just constant plugging and unplugging, trying to press Spotify, press play on Pandora, anything I can get to get the song to play. And I remember the weirdest thing is that my sister had her Apple iTunes on her phone, and every time you'd plug it in, it'd go straight to her Apple account, not to Spotify or what was recently playing in Spotify or Pandora. And so the number one song on her Apple Music was Act My Age by One Direction, so it would just turn on and blast every time she plugged her phone in. And I mean, I don't know. Although it's not happening anymore, it's just weird to think that that was one of the things that used to play all the time, and you kind of get used to it. And then finally, the driver's seat. Though I definitely didn't spend the most time in the driver's seat, I think it was the most transformative. Actually, right here in this seat, in this position, with my camera on top of my driver's wheel, this is the position that I started vlogging. I know it's probably not correct to have your phone laying right with you while you're driving, but that's when I started really feeling confident in myself to talk about my experiences and share them with people. And it was on the way to school in the morning, and then when I came home from school, that I would share like what happened in my day right here. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be in that seat again and to be talking safely with a parked car to the camera. And then of course learning to deal with the aux cord by myself, not as a passenger. And then knowing the fact that unlocking this car is only going to unlock 2 doors, and then I have to press it 2 times more to unlock the back, and sometimes manually get out of the car and open it myself. Or the fact that every time I went to the climbing gym, I knew that I could open this compartment and I'd find my chalk right in here, along with extra chalk, which definitely looked abnormal and a little baggy. Some pencils, any type of gear that I needed to get ready in the morning. I literally did my hair in here. I had combs, lotion, all of the above in here to get ready for school, because let's go for last minuters. Am I right? I remember I was always that person that hated to put down this little flap. I just absolutely could not stand something in front of me while I drive, so I never put this up, and I would always know when someone was driving my car when it was down. Always. Oh, and the fact that I always knew that my watch was off by exactly 47 minutes, it would be a challenge every time to add and subtract the numbers as quickly as possible to figure out what time it was. It's not 11:56, by the way. One of the most hilarious experiences with this car was when I was at a retreat with some friends, and I was so excited to go and get some Mojo burrito to eat with them that I definitely left the key in the car running and got out and locked the doors. And luckily, if I had not known that my car was not really in the best shape to lock all the doors at once, I would have been locked out of my car. And so my car came in clutch when it didn't lock all of the doors that one day. Oh, and these fellas. The gas in the trunk. I have a couple of stories for you. Filling up gas was always extremely annoying because this would always stick out and everyone would be like, hey, I think your fuel flap is open. You should fix that. But I would try to tell them, no, this is as far as it goes and it doesn't close anymore. And then I remember one day I was coming home from school, actually driving from school to my internship, and I was in such a rush that I was trying to put my jacket in my trunk, but I'd thrown everything in there and my jacket was half in the trunk and half out. I was driving to my internship and I looked back in the rearview mirror and I could literally see my coat flying like a cape on the back of my trunk, just hanging on by just the tiniest part of the jacket. I think it was like the hand. I freaked out and I had to like stop at the gas station, take it out, put it inside, but it was insane because I don't know how many people had seen me driving a car with a cape. It was like Batmobile that time. It's hilarious, but trunk came in clutch that day. Saved my jacket. Thank you very much to my RuchiMobile. You've been there for me since '99. Have fun with your life, dude. Gonna miss this car.